All right, we have multiple pressing stories to get to, stories that include something remarkable happening in the Northeast, specifically in the great state of New Hampshire. What is happening in New Hampshire? Early vote numbers are coming in, and they are looking good. They are looking hot for Republicans and Donald Trump. And it's not just the early vote totals, but enthusiasm in that state for Trump appears to be off the map. And last night, Trump and Vance hold this surprise rally in the state with just one day left before election, detouring to New Hampshire, of all places, a state with 4 electoral votes. Why would Trump want to go there if he's losing? A state that he lost in 2020 and 2016. What the hell is happening in New Hampshire, people? Well, we have the numbers. We're going to look at them together and multiple other stories from around the country. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. So with less than 24 hours to go before Election Day, both candidates delivering their closing messages yesterday. Kamala Harris already wrapped up her on-the-ground tour. She's now back at HQ, while Trump is continuing to hit up state after state after state, flying on Trump Force One to 4 rallies a day, not leaving anything on the table. And before we dive into these crazy New Hampshire numbers, as well as the other early vote totals from other battleground states, I'm going to show you a quick montage of the closing messages from both candidates yesterday. Roll the tape.
Polls are showing we're going to win everything. We're going to win the popular vote.
And let me then ask, who here has already voted? And let me ask, anybody here already voted? And let me then ask, who here has already voted?
We must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left agenda.
Turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump.
If Kamala wins, you are 3 days away from the start of a 1929-style economic depression. I believe that.
Just Google Project 2025, which still I can't believe they put in writing.
Project 2025. And I said, I don't know about it. Everything she says is a lie.
He wants to put them in jail. I will give them a seat at the table.
America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than ever before.
A country of chaos, fear, and hate, or a country of freedom, justice, and compassion.
Kamala broke it, and we will fix it, and we're going to fix it fast.
And when we fight, we win.
You're the worst vice president in history. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here.
Now, there's not much point right now to look at the polls anymore, but to get the bigger picture here for why New Hampshire appears not only to be in play, but could be leaning for Trump. There's a reason he went there last night. There's a reason that all these outlets are all of a sudden pointing to New Hampshire. Take a look at this. The RCP average has Trump down 3.5 points in New Hampshire. Rasmussen, they have Trump down by 1, 48 Harris to 47 Trump. And her lead, by the way, has been falling over the last few weeks there. Then 2 days ago, Daily Mail and JL Partners, which is the polling outlet, big polling outlet that Daily Mail partnered with this election, has been trying to point out for weeks now that New Hampshire could surprise everyone. Now, this was written 2 days ago, but you got to read what the journalist found when he went up there. He visited New Hampshire to talk to both campaigns there and see what it's like on the ground. Well, look what they found when they went there, saying this: inside the once blue heartland that could be a surprise swing state, New Hampshire has barely been mentioned, they say, this presidential race, but a recent bump in Donald Trump's polling suggests the Republican is reversing his opponent's comfortable lead and could even flip the state in a dramatic upset on Tuesday in Concord, the state capital. GOP organizers have run out of Trump yard signs due to the unexpected demand. In Pelham, scores of locals turned out to wave Trump flags when we arrived, blast out rock anthems, and feast on pizza and cookies on Wednesday night. Then down the road we went. Motorists honked horns and stopped to take photos of a homemade yard sign presenting Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz as the goofy Dumb and Dumber characters from the 1994 movie. Republican campaigners in the Granite State describe an 11th hour surge of enthusiasm for Trump that's quickly erasing the roughly 6-point lead that Harris enjoyed until recently. Then Trump's campaign director, a few days ago, let something slip. He was saying that their internal polling for New Hampshire has them reconsidering their final day push before Tuesday. And it appears to be paying off because Trump and JD Vance changed their plans last night. They flew up to the Granite State to hold this surprise rally last night. JD packing the house by himself without Trump, with lines stretched around the block. Take a look at these lines from last night. The venue was packed to the brim. Here's JD at the New Hampshire event last night. Roll the tape.
Now, I got to be honest. A couple months ago, I wasn't necessarily sure that the day before the last full day of the campaign, we'd be in the great state of New Hampshire. But I think that it suggests that what we're doing is expanding the map. We're bringing new voters into this coalition, and for the folks in New Hampshire who want to live free, we are the only ticket in town. Donald J. Trump is the only president for you. Now, people forget in 2016, New Hampshire was decided by 0.37%. That was the difference between Hillary Clinton and Donald J. Trump. And I think what's different this time around is that we have seen for the last 4 years the incredible failures of Kamala Harris's governance and the way that it has affected people in this great state as much as anybody else in the union.
So again, what the hell is happening in New Hampshire, people? Could Trump really pull this off? Well, it would be amazing if he did, but the numbers, the early vote numbers, show it's possible. New Hampshire early vote for the last 3 presidential elections always has Democrats leading in registered vote turnout by around 6 points, plus or minus 6 points. Well, as of this morning, they aren't anywhere close to that. Check this out. 75,000 mail-in and early in-person votes have been cast so far as of Monday morning in New Hampshire. 37% for Dems, 33% for Republicans. That's less than a 4-point spread, which is significant. It appears that Trump's doing well with the early vote there. We'll have to see. It's why he's not leaving anything on the table. He's flying all over the place the last few days, doing multiple rallies a night, while Kamala Harris went back to HQ yesterday to mail in her ballot in California, which she's a resident of, casting her vote for herself, obviously, but then also voting on Prop 36. This is an interesting story. Prop 36, which is on the ballot tomorrow in California. You know how in California you could steal whatever you want under $1,000 and it's only a misdemeanor? Well, Prop 36 would get rid of that. This is after years of increased crime in California. You know all those videos you see of people walking into a pharmacy or a grocery store and just walking out with bags of stuff, not paying, just walking on out, and nothing happens to them? That's because Gavin Newsom, along with Kamala Harris and the rest of that one-party state, decriminalized petty theft. Well, if you live in California, you have a chance to do something about that tomorrow. Now, what about Kamala Harris? Like I said, she's a California resident. Is she supporting Prop 36? Like I'd assume the majority of Californians are. Well, take a listen for yourself. She was asked how she voted on this. What do you think she said? I'll give you one guess. Roll the tape.
How did you vote on Prop 36?
So my ballot is on its way to California, and I'm going to trust the system that it will arrive there. And I am not going to talk about the vote on that because, honestly, it's the Sunday before the election, and I don't intend to create an endorsement one way or another around it. But I did vote.
Kamala not taking a position on a big issue because it may affect the election. That's the definition of the Kamala Harris campaign. She's the definition of a politician. And I'll give you one guess how she voted. I say she voted no to Prop 36, which really exemplifies these two candidates, right? Trump wants to stop crime, close the border, end the wars that the Harris-Biden got us involved in. while Kamala is too nervous to tell us what she wants to do. Trump just released his final campaign ad like 30 minutes ago. It just dropped, highlighting Elon, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Vivek, and JD, talking about all of this. Let me know what you think about it. He just put this out. Watch this.
What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual.
All right, that wraps up this episode. Make sure to get out and vote if you haven't already. Bring a family member, bring a friend. All of it helps. We'll see you next time.